Joyo Nitai Chaitanya. Joyo Nitai Chaitanya Gaurena Shraya Mama. Joyo Nitai Chaitanya Gaurena Shraya Mama. Shraya Mama. Shraya Mama. Shraya Mama. Shraya Mama. Joyo Nitai Chaitanya Gaurena Shraya Mama. Joyo Nitai Chaitanya
174. 174. Ooh, it's our favorite one. Maharaj Jivana Salapakara.
Nama Shreshtam Manumapi Sachiputram Matra Swarupam Rupam Tasya Grajam Bupurim Maturim Gostavitam Radhakundam Gadivaram Maho Radhika Madhavasam Prapto Yasya Parita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tamna Tosmi. So,
what's the translation of that?
Yeah, what did Dad was saying?
there's a verse by Raghunath Das Goswami, and it's traditionally sung in the mutt before any Shastric discourse. It was kind of sidelined at one stage in preference of a more general verse, which goes Om Jnanatamarandasya Gyananjana Sulakaya Chakshurun Manitamyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. But they're both verses in glorification of the Guru. Now, Om Jnanatamarandasya, which is like a general verse. I give respect to my Guru who opened my... I come from a place of ignorance and darkness, and my Guru, with his torchlight of knowledge, he opened my eyes. So that's like just a general glory of the Guru, that I was in a dark condition, and my Guru lifted me up into a light, optimistic place. It's a very broad conception, but very basic. Whereas the other one is by Raghunath Das Goswami, and who we'll be reading about soon, whose appearance day was yesterday, and in glorification of the Guru, listing a bunch of specific, or a series of specific items that the Guru has given to him. So Nama Shreshtam, a taste for the name. Manumapi Sachiputram, connection with the son of Mother Sachi. Traswarupam Swarup Damada Tatraswarupam Rupam Tasya Grajam Sri Rupa Goswami Urupurim Mathura Gostavatim Radhakundam Girivaram, Giri referring to Govardhan Hill. So he's listing all these items, all these spiritual personalities and places, Radhakund, Mathura, Govardhan, or I should say in ascending order, Mathura, Govardhan, Radhakund, etc. So it's like a prayer of it's a prayer of worship and gratitude at the same time, but listing specific items rather than just, I was in darkness and my Guru brought me into light, which is Om Jnanatamarandasya, pretty much. So it's traditional in the mud. Well, it's traditional in all spiritual endeavors to give respect to one's Guru before any kind of spiritual attempt or activity. So that's why it's done. But the mantra itself it was traditionally done in the mud, and then at some stage it was kind of, I don't know, maybe people found it too hard to memorize or something. I don't know. But anyway, it's by Raghunath Das Goswami in gratitude to the Guru, whose appearance, Raghunath Das Goswami has mentioned, his appearance was yesterday. And it's reminiscent of a verse composed by Srila Guru Maharaj in honor of Thakur Bhakti Vinod, which you can find in the introduction to Sharanagati, or the Mangalacharan to Sharanagati, auspicious introduction. And that's Guru Dam, Grantha Dam, Gaura Dam Dam, Nam Dam Mudar, Bhakti Dam, Buddhi Dam, Vande Bhakti Vinodakam Sada. So he's listing all of the items that Bhakti Vinod Thakur has delivered. Guru, he's given the Guru, as in his son, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Grantha Dam, Grantha refers to scriptures, a wide variety of scriptures and commentaries on scriptures. Gaura Dam Dam means the Dham, the holy place of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the birthplace of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Nam Dam Muda, a taste for the holy name, conception of the holy name. If you read books like Harinam Chintamani by Bhakti Thakur, you'll find that. Bhakti Dam, Bhakti, devotion, and etc. So he's listing a series of specific things, items that have been given by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So that it's in the same spirit of the mantra by Raghunath Das Goswami. But there you have it. That's the basis of the mantra. Auspicious invocation. So we're on Antya-lila, chapter 4, and this is Sanatan Goswami visits Jagannath Puri. Jai Srila Gurudev, Hare Krishna. Sanatan Goswami visits Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri, from Vrindavan. And as we'll see, he's in quite a, not despicable, but quite a difficult condition when he arrives. He's become quite sick on the journey. And not only that, but his brother, who is his traveling companion, has died. So he lost his brother on the way. And he arrives in Jagannath Puri in very poor health. At least externally, covered in some kind of viral infection that he caught from drinking, or bacterial infection perhaps he caught from drinking contaminated water while traveling through the country. And he's revived by Mahaprabhu. So we'll read the summary given at the beginning of this chapter. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Chapter 4, Antya-lila, chapter 4, Sanatan Goswami visits Lord Jagannath, visits the Lord Jagannath, visits the Lord at Jagannath Puri. The 4th chapter of Antya-lila is summarized by Bhakti Vinod Thakur in his Amrita Pravaha Bhasya as follows. Srila Sanatan Goswami came alone from Mathura to Jagannath Puri. Oh, came alone. Because of, maybe it says he came alone because his brother died on the way. Came alone from Mathura to Jagannath Puri to see Lord Chaitanya because of bathing in bad water and not getting enough food every day while travelling on the path through the forest. He developed a disease that made his body itch. Suffering greatly from this itching, he resolved that in the presence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he would throw himself under the wheel of the Jagannath's car and in this way commit suicide. When Sanatan Goswami came to Jagannath Puri, he stayed under the care of Haridas Thakur for some time, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy to see him. The Lord informed Sanatan Goswami about the death of his younger brother, Anupam, who had great faith in the lotus feet of Lord Ramachandra. One day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Sanatan Goswami, "Your decision to commit suicide is in the mode of ignorance. One cannot get love of God simply by committing suicide. You have already dedicated your life and body to my service. Therefore your body does not belong to you, nor do you have any right to commit suicide. I have to execute many devotional services through your body. I want to preach the cult of devotional service and go to Vrindavan to excavate the lost holy places." After having thus spoken, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, and Haridas Thakur and Sanatan Goswami had many talks about the subject. One day, Sanatan Goswami was summoned by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who wanted him to come to Yameshwara Tota. Sanatan Goswami reached the Lord through the path along the beach by the sea. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Sanatan Goswami by which way he had come, Sanatan replied, "Many servitors of Lord Jagannath come and go on the path by the Simhadvara gate of the Jagannath temple. Therefore, I did not go by that path, but instead I went by the beach." Sanatan Goswami did not realize that there were burning blisters on his feet because of the heat of the sand. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was pleased to hear about Sanatan Goswami's great respect for the temple of Lord Jagannath. Because of his disease, produced by wet sores on his body, Sanatana Goswami used to avoid embracing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But nevertheless, the Lord would embrace him by force. This made Sanatana Goswami very unhappy, and therefore he consulted Jagadananda Pandit about what he should do. Jagadananda advised him to return to Vrindavan after the cart festival of Jagannath. But when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard about this instruction, he chastised Jagadananda Pandit and reminded him that Sanatana Goswami was senior to him and also more learned. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu informed Sanatana Goswami that because Sanatana was a pure devotee, the Lord was never inconvenienced by his bodily condition. Because the Lord was a sannyasi, he did not consider one body better than another. The Lord also informed him that he was maintaining Sanatana and the other devotees just like a father. Therefore, the moisture oozing from Sanatana's itching skin did not affect the Lord at all. After speaking with Sanatana Goswami in this way, the Lord again embraced him, and after this embrace, Sanatana Goswami became free from the disease. The Lord ordered Sanatana Goswami to stay with him for that year, and the next year, after seeing the Rath Yatra festival, he left Purushottam Kshetra and returned to Vrindavan. After meeting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Rupa Goswami also returned to Bengal, where he remained for 1 year. Whatever money he owned, he distributed among his relatives, the Brahmanas in the temples. In this way, he completely retired and returned to Vrindavan to meet Sanatana Goswami. After narrating these incidents, Krishnadas Kaviraj has given a list of the main books of Sanatana Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami and Jiva Goswami. Text 1. Vrindavanat puna praptam Sri Gauraha Sri Sanatanam Deha Patad Avan Snehat Shudham Chakre Parikshaya. When Sanatana Goswami returned from Vrindavan, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu affectionately saved him from his determination to commit suicide. Then, after testing him, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu purified his body.
Sorry, Bill, what's the name of the chapter?
Sanatana Goswami visits the Lord at Jagannath Puri.
Is that when he escaped from prison?
No, it's a bit after that. Because he goes to Vrindavan first, meets Mahaprabhu at Varanasi, goes to Vrindavan, and then returns. Then goes from Vrindavan. As it said at the beginning, he went from Mathura to Jagannath Puri to see Lord Chaitanya.
And they go by foot, so that's walking.
Pretty much. I imagine they took bullock carts and stuff, if they were available. But a lot of the time walking. And he went through the Jharkhand forest, and that's where he got sick, I guess. It says bathing in contaminated water. I remember reading drinking contaminated water at some stage, but perhaps it was both. But either way, he arrived sick. But yeah, he had gone to Vrindavan, same as Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami was coming from Vrindavan to Jagannath Puri, and Sanatana Goswami was going, but they missed because Rupa Goswami was going along the bank of the Ganges, and Sanatana Goswami was coming along the main road, the direct route. So they missed each other. So Rupa Goswami arrives in Jagannath Puri, and then Rupa Goswami leaves Vrindavan for Jagannath Puri. Sanatana Goswami arrives in Vrindavan, and then follows Rupa Goswami to Jagannath Puri at some stage. But I got mixed up here because Rupa Goswami's younger brother Anupam died when he was travelling with Rupa Goswami, not with Sanatana. So that's why it says he travelled alone.
Okay.
So it was a little earlier, so he was travelling with his other brother, Rupa Goswami, and when he died. So Sanatana Goswami followed them pretty much from Mathura, which means Vrindavan area, to Puri. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Lord Chaitanya, all glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Chandra, all glories to the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nila Chala Haite Rupa Gaude Yabegela, Mathura Haite Sanatana Nila Chala Aila. When Srila Rupa Goswami returned from Jagannath Puri to Bengal, Sanatana Goswami went from Mathura to Jagannath Puri to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jarikanda Vanapate Aila Ekela Chaliya Kabu Upavasa Kabu Charavana Kariya. Sanatana Goswami walked alone on the path through the Jharkhand forest in central India. Sometimes he fasted and sometimes he would eat. Jarikandera jailera doshe upavasa haite gatrikandu haila rasa pare kajuyaite. Because of bad water in Jarikanda and because of fasting, Sanatana Goswami contracted a disease that made his body itch. Thus he was afflicted with itching sores from which fluid oozed. What you call an abscess, right? His body became covered in infected abscesses. Nirveda haila pate karena vichara Nicha jati de hamoda atyanta asara. In disappointment, Sanatana Goswami considered, I am of a low caste, and my body is now useless for devotional service. Jagannate gela tanra darshana na paimu, prabhura darshana sada karite narimu. When I go to Jagannath Puri, I shall not be able to see Lord Jagannath, nor shall I be able to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it's likely he was seeing himself as infectious. So he was thinking like, this has ruined my ability to associate with Mahaprabhu and serve, etc. Mandira nekati shuni tanra vasastiti mandira nekati aiti mudanahi shakti. I have heard that the residential quarters of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are near the Jagannath temple, but I shall not have the power to go near the temple. Jagannath tera sevaka pere karya anurodhe Tanra sparsha haila moda habe apparade. Servants of Jagannath generally move about, tending to their duties, but if they touch me, I shall be an offender. Tate yare e deha balastane die, dukkha shanti haya ara sadgati paye. Therefore, if I sacrifice this body in a good place, my unhappiness will be mitigated, and I shall attain an exalted destination. Jagannatha rata yatraya hai bena bahira tanra rata chakaya charimo e sharira. During the Rath Yatra festival, when Lord Jagannath comes out of the temple, I shall give up this body under the wheel of his cart. Mahaprabhura age aradeke Jagannatha rate deha charimo e parama purushartha. After seeing Lord Jagannath, I shall give up my body under the wheel of the cart, in the presence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This will be the highest benediction of my life. Eta nischaya kari nilachale aila loke puchi haridasa stani uttarila. Having made this resolution, Sanatana Goswami went to Nilachala, where he inquired directions from people and approached the residence of Haridas Thakur. Haridasera kaila tenha charana vandana Jani Haridasa Tanre Kaila Alingana. He offered his respects to the lotus feet of Haridas Thakur, who knew him and thus embraced him. Mahaprabhu deketi tanra utkanti tamana Haridasa kahe Prabhu ashibena ekana. Sanatana Goswami was very eager to see the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore Haridas Thakur said, the Lord is coming here very soon. He nakale Prabhu upala boga dekhiya Haridase milite aila bhakta gana lana. At that very moment, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after visiting the temple of Jagannath to see the upala boga, morning refreshments, came with his other devotees to see Haridas Thakur. Prabhu deke dunhe pare dandavat hana Prabhu alengila Haridasera utana. Seeing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they both immediately fell flat like rods to offer obeisances. The Lord then lifted Haridas and embraced him. Haridasa kahe sanatana kare namaskara, sanatane deke Prabhu haila chamatkara. Haridas Thakur said to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, here is Sanatana Goswami offering his obeisances. Seeing Sanatana Goswami, the Lord was greatly surprised. Sanatane alingete Prabhu aguhaila, pache bage sanatana kahite lagila. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came forward to embrace him, Sanatana Goswami backed away and spoke as follows. Morena chuniha Prabhu padan tomarapaya, eke nicha jati adama arakandura sagaya. My Lord, please do not touch me. I fall at your lotus feet. I am the lowest of men, having been born of a low caste. Besides that, I have infections on my body. Balat kare prabhu tanre alingan gana kaila kandu kleda mahaprabhura Sri Ange Lagila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, however, embraced Sanatana Goswami by force. Thus, the moisture oozing from the itching sores touched the transcendental body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sabha Bhakta Gane Prabhu Milela Sanatane Sanatana Kaila Sabara Charana Vandane. The Lord introduced all the devotees to Sanatana Goswami, who offered his respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of them all. Prabhu Lana Vasila Pindara Upare Bhakta Gana Pindara Tale Vasila Haridasa Sanatana. The Lord and his devotees sat on a raised platform, and below that sat Haridas Thakur and Sanatana Goswami. Kushala Varta Mahaprabhu Puchina Sanatane Tena Kahena Parama Mangala Dekunu Charane. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired from Sanatan about news of his well-being. Sanatana Goswami replied, "Everything is auspicious because I have seen your lotus feet." Maturara Vaishnava Sabera Kushala Puchila Sabara Kushala Sanatana Janaila. When the Lord asked about all the Vaishnavas at Mathura, Sanatana Goswami informed him of their good health and fortune. Prabhu Kahe Ihan Rupa Chila Dasa Masa Ihan Haite Gode Gela Haila Dina Dasa. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu informed Sanatana Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami was here for 10 months. He left for Bengal just 10 days ago. Tomarabai Anupamera Haila Ganga Prapti Balachila Raghunate Dridha Charabhakti. Your brother Anupam is now dead. He was a very good devotee who had firm conviction, and Raghunath, Lord Ramachandra. Sanatana kahe nichavam se mura janma adharma anyaya yata amara kula dharma. Sanatana Goswami said, I was born from a low family, for my family commits all kinds of irreligious acts that violate the scriptural injunctions. Hena vamsa grina chari kaila angikara tomara kripaya vamse mangala amara. My Lord, without hatred for my family, you have accepted me as your servant. Only by your mercy is there good fortune in my family. Say Anupama Bai Shishu Kalahaite Raghunatha Upasana Kare Dridhajite. From the very beginning of his childhood, my younger brother Anupam was a great devotee of Raghunath. He worshipped him with great determination. Ratri Dine Raghunathera Nama Aradhyana Ramayana Niravadeshuni Karegana. He always chanted the holy name of Raghunath and meditated upon him. He continuously heard about the activities of Lord Ram from the Ramayana and chanted about them. Ami Ara Rupa Tara Jeshta Sahodara Amadonha Sangetenha Rahe Nirantara. Rupa and I are his elder brothers. He stayed with us continuously. Amasaba Sange Krishna Kata Bhagavata Sune Tanhara Pariksha Kailun Amedui Jane. He heard Srimad Bhagavatam and talks about Lord Krishna with us, and both of us examined him. Shunaha Valabha Krishna Parama Madhura Sundarya Madhurya Prem Vilasa Prachura. Dear Vallabh, we said, please hear from us. Lord Krishna is supremely attractive. His beauty, sweetness, and pastimes of love are without limit. Krishna Bhajan Karatumi Amadun Harasange Teen Habaye Katra Rahimu Krishna Katarange. Engage yourself together in devotional service to Krishna with engage yourself in devotional service to Krishna with both of us. We three brothers shall stay together and enjoy discussing the pastimes of Lord Krishna. E mata bara bara kahidui jana atmadun hara gora ve kichu pirigele mana. In this way we both spoke to him again and again, and because of this persuasion and respect for us, his mind turned somewhat toward our instructions. Toma dunhara agya ami kemani lagimu diksha mantra deha Krishna bhajana karimu. Vallabha replied, "My dear brothers, how can I disobey your orders? Initiate me into the Krishna mantra so that I may perform devotional service to Lord Krishna." Etakahi ratri kale karena chintana kemane chadimu raghunatera charana. After saying this, at night he began to think, how shall I give up the lotus feet of Lord Raghunath? Sabaratri krandana kari kaila jagarana prataha kala kale amadunhaya kaila nivedana. He stayed up all night and cried. In the morning he came to us and submitted the following plea. Raghunatera pade padme vechiyachon mata kadite na paran mata panabhadavyata. I have sold my head at the lotus feet of Lord Ramachandra. I cannot take it away. That would be too painful for me. Kripakare more agya deha duijana janme janme sevan raghunatera charana. Both of you, please be merciful to me and order me in such a way so that life after life I may serve the lotus feet of Lord Raghunath. Raghunatera para padma charananayaya charibara mana haile pranapatiyaya. What is impossible for me to give up? It is impossible for me to give up the lotus feet of Lord Raghunath. When I even think of giving them up, my heart breaks. Tabe ame dunhe tare alingana kailun sarudriddha bhakti tomara kahi prasam shilun. Upon hearing this, both of us embraced him and encouraged him by saying, "You are a great saintly devotee, for your determination and devotional service is fixed." In this way we both praised him. Yevam seda upare tomara haya kripalesha sakala mangala tahe kande sabaklesha. My dear Lord, the family upon which you bestow even little mercy is always fortunate, for such mercy makes all miseries disappear. Goshani kahena e mata murari gupta Purve ame parek shilon tara erita. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, there was a similar incident concerning Murari Gupta. Formerly I examined him and his determination was similar. Se bhakta danya yena chare prabhura charana, se prabhu danya yena chare nijajana. Glorious is that devotee who does not give up the shelter of his Lord, and glorious is that Lord who does not abandon his servant. Durdaive sevakayade yaya anyastane se takora danya tare chule dare ane. If by chance a servant falls down and goes somewhere else, glorious is that master who captures him and brings him back by the hair. Bala haila tomara ihan haila agamane e gare raha ihan haridasa sane. It is very good that you have arrived here. Now stay in this room with Haridas Thakur. So just like Rupa Goswami, he stayed with Haridas Thakur. So both Rupa and Sanatan stayed with Haridas Thakur during their Puri visit. And Mahaprabhu talks about the comparison with Murari Gupta, who was also a great Ram Bhakta. But that was in Navadvip quite a while earlier. And Mahaprabhu was telling him, you have to chant Hare Krishna, become a devotee of Krishna. But he couldn't. And one night it reached his agony of his dilemma of he couldn't disobey Mahaprabhu, but he couldn't abandon Lord Ram. So one night it reached a critical point, and he had a kitchen knife and he was lying there with it, and he's like, I'm going to stab myself because I can't handle this kind of what you would call an impossible situation. He can't deny Mahaprabhu, but he can't abandon Lord Ram. And in the morning he said to Mahaprabhu, I can't go on, I'm going to have to commit suicide. Mahaprabhu said, that's okay, you can stay with your Ram worship. And he wrote Ram Das on his forehead in Tilak. And Murari Gupta is considered Hanuman in Chaitanya-lila. So the similar situation with the younger brothers of the younger brother of Rupa and Sanatan, and who couldn't give up his Ishtadeva. What was that? What were you going to say?
No, it's detail. Haridas Thakur was a Muslim family.
Yeah.
Rupa Sanatan were not Muslim, but were working for the Muslim government.
Yeah, we talked about this before, right?
Yeah, it's just to remember.
Yeah. They were born in Brahmin families, but they had been working, associating with the Muslim rulership. Thus they were considered to be kind of Muslims, at least in terms of purity. So they also didn't enter the temple. As you can see, Sanatan not only didn't enter the temple, but he didn't walk along the road where the servitors, the pandas, would often traverse between their homes and the Jagannath temple. He wouldn't walk there in case he kind of encountered them. That was his state of humility.
I mean, they were all in the same situation, no? Sanatana, Rupa and Haridas Thakur?
Pretty much, yeah.
Same attitude?
In regards to the Jagannath temple. And they were all staying there together at a distance from the Jagannath temple. But Mahaprabhu would visit every day, as we read in the first chapter, which is the glories of Haridas Thakur. Mahaprabhu would visit them every day. Okay. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Revealed Truth by Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswami Maharaj. Jai Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the chapter is entitled Recognizing Devotion. And subchapter entitled Smooth Progress. Mahaprabhu's formula, which Gurudev has given in the previous section, Trinadapi Sunichena, third verse of Shikshastakam. Mahaprabhu's formula states that anyone who is humble and tolerant and who gives honor to others without expecting honor for himself can properly practice Harinam Sankirtan. This teaching of Mahaprabhu gives us the proper spirit of spiritual life. When we follow the practice of humility, tolerance, and giving honor to others, we will not do anything wrong to anyone. We will not make any offense to anyone. If we give honor to everyone, then we will never be in danger of making an offense to a Vaishnava. Vaishnava Aparad. It is completely necessary to avoid making offenses to Vaishnavas because the Hare Krishna Mahamantra descends to us from the upper level through the Vaishnavas. Mahaprabhu gave us his formula because we cannot recognize Vaishnavas. What can we do when we cannot recognize a Vaishnava? We can give honor to everyone, even to persons who do not appear honorable to us. If we do so, we may not recognize him. So, Gurudev is saying to give honor to everyone. Nonetheless, the honor given is appropriate to the person's condition. It's not like a blanket level and quantity and quality of honor is given to everyone. So you don't give the same honor to your guru as you would to someone who's just visiting the temple, for instance. So there's common sense required. Some people misinterpret this instruction of Gurudev, or find it hard to understand it. In terms of we're giving honor to everyone, that means we're treating Vaishnavas and non-Vaishnavas and people who are inimical to Vaishnavas, all with the same level of humility, expressing to them all the same level of degree of honor, giving them the same honor. But it's not the case. Gurudev is saying that we don't exert, we don't impose our ego onto others, even in normal dealings, the outside world. So there's a certain amount of honor given. And then, practically speaking, no one sees you as their enemy. No one sees you as in competition with them. And
If you act like this.
yeah, if you act with humility. But Guru Maharaj elaborates further and says that, but we don't bow down to a tiger or a wolf. In other words, saying people with the natures of a tiger or a wolf, that they will exploit. If someone exploits you, bow down and they exploit you. That's not the idea. And it's also not the idea to give endorsement to someone's misbehavior. If someone is doing something bad and you're giving them honor, then they can interpret that as an endorsement of their misbehavior. So there's certain nuances are required. But nonetheless, Gurudev is saying, even if someone is generally unfit, the idea is that if they're generally considered unfit for honor, like a homeless person, they're not given any honor. Or people that do not have what society deems to be worthy of honor, such as status, wealth, physical beauty, whatever it might be. People receive honor based on various attributes they have, money, power, etc. So if they don't have them, then those people are deemed dishonorable, not worthy of honor. So Gurudev is saying that the devotees don't work by those rules. Give honor to everyone, even if they don't fit the standards of societal honor that would normally be applied to them. Don't follow those societal rules.
Also, independently of their actions, not he's saying we have to give honor independently of the status of the person, but also independently of their action. That's first question. And second question, what about a Vaishnava who has made offenses?
So the first question, their actions need to be considered. If the person is, for instance, harming another devotee, we don't give honor to them. If the person has come to desecrate a temple, you're going to give honor to that? So of course you don't disregard their actions.
In
No.
their own life, they have some behaviors that seem weird for us. Meat eating, I mean, those for regulation that we talk about. They are not Vaishnavas. They do these things. So what?
Yeah, you still. So give honor. You may not endorse a person's material life, but you don't dishonor them. So you give them some honor in terms of, even if it's one to be seen in Broadway, right? What is the Gita sloka? Anyway, Pandita Samadarshanaha. Samadarshan means equal vision, egalitarian vision. Pandita, a learned person, sees everyone with equal vision. So you can give honor based on that equal vision, that Paramatma is existing there in everyone's heart, regardless of whatever coverings that they are carrying with them, regardless of whatever coverings and whatever behaviors that those coverings kind of impel them to engage in. But it's not to endorse, a person's material life, but it's not to impose on them any sense of superiority. It's not to feel that one is, or make one feel that they are morally inferior. That's dishonoring the person. So you can give a person recognition and you can honor them without endorsing, without supporting their bad qualities. In fact, that is often the best way to help a person to change. You can give them a good approach. Is it said that Krishna sees the good qualities in a devotee and disregards any defects. So he supports what they have and compensates what they don't have. So to accentuate, recognize someone's a person, like a non-devotee, their good qualities, and not worry so much about the bad qualities. And with that approach, then their good qualities grow and their bad qualities begin to fade away. And they don't feel that they're being preached to or that they're being made to feel inferior. If we saw how these are Gurudev's words, if we saw how Gurudev dealt with people, then we can see how it working in action. Gurudev would be humble and tolerant to people, like a beginner devotee might come across a Buddhist monk and try and preach to them or try and get into some kind of debate or argument with them or something. Remember Gurudev in Thailand met a Buddhist monk and they got on very well. And gave him honor, respect, etc. So what is left is that instead of that Buddhist monk feeling that he'd come in contact with someone that was trying to convert him or trying to criticize him, come in contact with a saint, left him with a good feeling and a happy, subsequently a happy attitude, a healthy attitude towards devotees. A lot of it is guided by common sense. So, Guru...
Who would make offenses? What attitude should we have towards them? The same as what we said?
If they're not giving you honor and you're considering that an offense.
Offenses of, I don't know.
If they're making offense, if she's saying they're making offense, what kind of...
If they're criticizing others,
For example,
then it's best to ignore them.
But in terms of honor and respect...
You don't give honor to that attitude, no. That's why, it can't... These teachings need to be understood with common sense. That
normally you leave the association of those devotees who are making offense.
Yeah, Gurudev is saying give honor in general. But, if you start giving honor where it's not, even though giving honor even where it doesn't appear deserved, but that, as I was trying to explain, that means deserved by normal standards of who deserves honor. Not that we completely abandon our common sense and we give honor to everyone, even criminals that are disturbing society or people that are virulently criticizing other devotees. And we're giving honor to that, the whole thing will go to become a mess. If there's no system of justice, right? Imagine if the police started giving honor to all the criminals. So they can maybe still honor the person. If the person is a devotee policeman, they can still honor the criminal they're apprehending. But they would still have to do their duty of apprehending the criminal. And the judge would still have to do his duty of impartially sentencing that criminal if he is found guilty. So there is still a certain responsibility to guide and correct others if they're misbehaving, or protect others if they're the victims of others' misbehavior. So that can still be done while practicing Trinadapi Sunicchena. So common sense is necessary. And also another way of looking at it is that Gurudev can be talking at a very high level. Like the level of himself, the level of the Goswamis, which I see as the same level. Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, and these personalities that we're reading about in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The level of Trinadapi Sunicchena, the living, the level at which they lived that verse. That's the ideal. So, for instance, we have the story of Rupa Goswami, and he has written the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and someone comes along a scholar, Vallabha Bhatta, I believe, great scholar, comes along and says, "Oh, I can correct the Sanskrit for you. I'll edit the Sanskrit in here." And actually, there's a better example than that, but I'll finish this quickly nonetheless. And then he is Jiva Goswami hears of it and goes and chastises this great pundit, saying, "What you thought was actually Sanskrit deficiency, errors in the grammar, is actually perfect." And he showed him how it was so. And Rupa Goswami wasn't happy with that. But there's even a more fitting example, is that one day there was a great pundit traveling around with his disciples, engaging in debate with all the notable scholars of any area. So he comes to Vrindavan and he hears of Rupa Goswami. And he goes to Rupa Goswami and he says, "Look, I'm challenging you to a debate. And either you debate with me, or you sign a document saying that you have surrendered without debate." Right? You've recognized me as, you've recognized yourself as an unworthy opponent, that you would be obliterated by me intellectually, so just sign the document. So Rupa Goswami goes, "Yeah, I'll sign it." So he signed the document. And so in that way, this person was coming along to challenge Rupa Goswami. It's not devotional sentiment. It's ego-based activity. But Rupa Goswami showed great humility. He didn't engage with him. He didn't try to preach to him. He didn't take an approach that, if I engage with him in debate, maybe he will, come to Krishna consciousness. He signed the document, let the man go on his way. He could go and show the document, I've defeated Rupa Goswami in debate. And then when Jiva Goswami heard of it, again, he became enraged. And he himself engaged in debate with that Digvijay Pandit, and defeated him in debate. And again, when Rupa Goswami heard of this, he himself was very disappointed. And he banished Jiva Goswami from his association, ostracized him for some time. No, for some time. And then he was brought back in by the intervention of Sanatana Goswami. But that shows how the approach can have this theme can have a dual application. Rupa Goswami submitted completely, you could say, perfectly practiced Trinadapi Sunichena when challenged by this arrogant pundit. And that left his spiritual life undisturbed, which is the point Gurudev makes, is that our spiritual life will not be disturbed if we exhibit humility, tolerance, and giving honor. But when Jiva Goswami heard of it, can we criticize Jiva Goswami's actions? You can't really criticize the actions of Jiva Goswami, but he did the opposite of Rupa Goswami. And he went and challenged and defeated that. But is he violating Mahaprabhu's Trinadapi Sunichena? Some people say yes, but Gurudev and Guru Maharaj said absolutely not. So we can see how there's a nuance there. That certain, and my understanding of that pastime is that both of them must be there, because Rupa Goswami shows how the devotee is subjectively, internally ready to give honor, submission. This guy didn't necessarily deserve it. He's not a high devotee. As mentioned, he was there for selfish, egotistical purposes, to establish himself as the number one scholar. So Rupa Goswami, you could say, gave endorsement to that through humility, through exhibiting his Trinadapi Sunichena spirit. Whereas Jiva Goswami didn't, but his chastisement of the pundit reformed that pundit and caused them to appreciate Rupa Goswami. Because Jiva Goswami is Rupa Goswami's disciple. So then the disciple of the guru who had submitted comes along and defeats him, and that rectifies this great pundit. He is able to appreciate the greatness of Rupa Goswami. So what we have here is not only the greatness of Rupa Goswami, showing that he has no ego in his practice of Trinadapi Sunichena, as the glory of his actions are showing the glory of the devotee, but we're also having the dignity of the Vaishnav's love for other Vaishnavas being protected, or that's being exhibited. The protection of Rupa Goswami and his dignity, and the dignity of Bhakti that Rupa Goswami embodies.
Does it mean that in general way we have to show this humility when we are concerned, but when the other Vaishnavas are concerned, we better not show humility? I mean,
it has been interpreted that way, yeah, that a Vaishnava is not so concerned for their own welfare, but that of others. Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. It has to be common sense. If someone wants to, and that's again with criticizing devotees. If someone is criticizing another person, then they can be ignored. They can be put in their place. I mean, it's nuanced, and it comes down to so many practical factors. But to finish with this pastime, is that both of these approaches were necessary to give a complete picture. One, the supremacy of Rupa Goswami's humility and indifference to the intellectual and egoic world that this Pandit was coming from, which was considered the highest, above other kind of mundane, egotistical themes. You have the realm of the intellect. It's the realm of the ego, much higher than the mind, much higher than the body. So, showing that he's transcendental to all of that. And then Rupa Goswami coming, but then that can be misinterpreted. That, he's submitted. That means devotees are, they're not at all intelligent. There's no shastric basis. And weak. So Jiva Goswami comes and he rectifies that Pandit. So both are necessary. Both are there to give a complete picture. And so it can be interpreted in that way. But it is of course very nuanced. But Gurudev is giving the general principle. Finish this subchapter. Generally, we can understand that we should honor a Vaishnav. There is no question about that. But because it is difficult to recognize a Vaishnav, we should give honor to everyone, even to someone who appears to have nothing. The Lord resides in the heart of everyone, and everyone is a Vaishnav by nature. We must honor everyone. Then we will always proceed clearly in our spiritual life. This is very important. I always say that this procedure is given by Mahaprabhu. That this procedure given by Mahaprabhu is the best procedure for practicing spiritual life. Why? Because we are always doing something wrong. We must avoid that. All souls have a very high prospect and property. They are actually all eternal servants of the Lord. Someone may be a tiny, insignificant soul who has not realized his own wealth, but we must give honor to everyone, no matter who they are. That way, everyone will be merciful to us, even if we do not make any enemies and rather make everyone our friend, then our practicing life will proceed smoothly. We must proceed to our destiny, and for that we need the blessings of everyone, especially all the Vaishnavas in our practicing life. We need everyone's help and goodwill, and if we proceed to our destiny according to Mahaprabhu's formula, then everything will be beautiful, fair and good. We should be merciful to ourselves by giving honor to others. Then the whole world will become our friend, and all the Lord's servants will be merciful to us. I mean, this advice is very practical advice, but it needs to be understood with common sense. And generally it's pretty easy to apply it with common sense. It shouldn't be too difficult, but some people have misinterpreted it. If you're giving honor to everyone, what if the person's going to cut my head off or hurt my friend? So a bit of common sense is required. But I remember Gurudev's long-time servitor, Bhakti Lalita Didi, she said that someone asked Gurudev, why are you emphasizing constantly this humility, tolerance and giving honor? Why are you giving it so much emphasis? Saying it's Mahaprabhu's teaching, but it's one verse there. And he said, well, it's out of desperation, because nothing else works. Nothing else has worked. This is what Bhakti Lalita told me personally. And she heard it and heard Gurudev saying it. I emphasize it because out of desperation, I've tried everything, nothing else works.
And this cannot but work. How can you go wrong with that?
Yeah. Even, yeah.
No, go on.
I was saying even from a mundane perspective, even not from a devotional perspective, I think it's a very good policy to live by. No one sees you as their enemy. No one sees you as being in competition. So you got no friction.
Even when Srila Goswami was beaten up by the
Haridas Thakur.
Yeah, Haridas Thakur, right?
Yeah.
He was being referred to them, right?
Yeah.
So he's showing with his humility.
Yeah, I mean that's another example
Yes.
of like the great humility of people on that level. And that's why I think sometimes Gurudev is speaking almost from that level. Like, when there is another incident when, well, just to finish, that level cannot always necessarily be applied perfectly when you're not actually on that level. And maybe it shouldn't be. If someone wants to attack and kill you, then you should defend yourself. Right? But on another level, you may not. On the topmost level, maybe you won't. And there was an incident in the 1980s when there was some malevolent element. We won't go into details, but there was some malevolent element that was trying to plot to kill Guru Maharaj, to have him assassinated. And this came to the notice, came to the awareness of the devotees. They were making plans to protect him, including purchasing a firearm. And Guru Maharaj was like, I'm not interested in all of this. If the person wants to come and kill me, then they can do that. It's fine. And he said, I don't want to make any extra security arrangements. So that was, again, if they want to come and kill my body, that's fine. That's an extreme zenith, the very zenith of humility. Like, if they want to intrude on my wealth, then, is submitting to whatever it might be. But if the devotees adopted that same policy, oh yeah, they want to come and kill Guru Maharaj. Oh, okay, well, Jai, Hare Krishna. There you go, he's that way. That's a complete misapplication of Trinadapi Sunicina. So we have on one level Guru Maharaj's perspective, and on another level the servitors of Guru Maharaj had to take a different kind of approach. And both of them are appropriate to their level of spiritual adhikar. So in that sense, common sense is required. But the general guiding principle is Trinadapi Sunicina. And it doesn't mean that those people that were taking extra steps, and they did end up taking some basic steps to protect Guru Maharaj, like keeping someone at his door 24 hours or something like that for a while. Enhanced the security a little bit. But those people that were doing that, they were still living their lives according to Mahaprabhu's Trinadapi Sunicina principle. But they weren't going to give Trinadapi Sunicina honor to the guy coming round to assassinate their spiritual master.
But those devotees are completely surrender. Like they depend on the protection of the Lord also, right?
Yes.
So it's not only being humble, but he's also completely surrendered to the Lord.
Yeah. Hari Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopala Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudana. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana. Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra. Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Hansavara Pararenu Moda Panchagrasa Andara Charana Sebi Bhaktasani Vasa Janame Moda Eri Abhilasa Echai Koshai Chabbe Praje Koilo Vasa Radha Krishna Antya-lila Kodila Prakasha Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavana Shri Guru Vaishnava Pari Majariya Mana Shri Guru Vaishnava Para Padma Koriyasha Hari Naam Sankirtan Kohe Nar Namadasa Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Rama Ramo Hare Hare Jai Gaura Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Jai Gaura Hari Bol Jai Gaura Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Jai Gaura Hari Bol Jai Safari Khara Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Sundar Radha Giridhar Ji ki Jai Jai Vishnu Pad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Jai Vishnu Pad Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sri Dhadev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Jai Vishnu Pad Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki Jai Shri Rupanu Guru Varg ki Jai Vishva Varanya Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai Samaveda Vaishnav Mandala ki Jai Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat London ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai Nitai Go Premanamni Hari